Okay, well, we're still in Classic Comics, we're still here, and we have a very special guest with us here today. We've got Jared, we have a real-life comic book clerk.
Wow, yeah.
Comic book clerk, Jared.
Such a claim to fame.
Yes. Well, Jared, thanks for your time. We
No
know your
worries,
time's very valuable.
You guys are good friends, so we're happy to help out when we can.
The check's in the mail, just like we rehearsed, The reason we have you here today, Jared, is because we're talking about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it'd be nice to talk a little bit about the characters, who we've seen. With the exception of Coulson, I think it's fair to say that they're all original characters. Well, yeah, I guess later on they'll introduce more recognizable characters. But, well, let's talk about Coulson first.
Okay.
Agent Phil Coulson.
Yep. What do we think he is?
Well, okay.
What's your theory?
My theory is that, they always say, much like classic comics, they say Tahiti's a very magical place, do they not?
They do a lot in that show.
I think the robot's a bit too obvious, isn't it? They've already established that life model decoys in
And
Iron
this
Man 3.
current episode as well, I don't know if you're a Dollhouse fan, but in this current episode when Coulson woke up from his massage, he said, "Did I fall asleep?" And the response was, for a little while, that's something that all the dolls in the dollhouse said once their minds were wiped. And it's like the third time that they've insinuated robot. Like, Skye said something in the episode prior about Coulson's even more robotic than he normally is. Now I don't know if it's setting up for a robot or it's throwing you off the scent.
I don't know. I still think the fact that they keep saying that Tahiti's a magical place leads me to believe that, there's something more to it than that. And, I'm not a big Marvel fan, but I do know for a fact that there is a certain physician, a certain strange physician in the Marvel Universe who maybe can't run his own, headline his own movie. They could somehow,
I know Clive Gregg was on Larry King Live, and he said he knows more than the fans, but less than the writers, and that his resurrection will have to do with magic, and that's going to get picked up again on Avengers 2 when Scarlet Witch.
So he okay, that's interesting because
so maybe he's not a robot. Maybe he's not a robot.
Okay.
What I wanted, what my fan theory was that all the Coulsons that we were seeing in all the movies, so Iron Man 1 and 2 and 3 and all that sort of stuff, all them were the LMDs, based off this like super agent who couldn't be everywhere at once, but he could be the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. and be everywhere at once sort of thing. And so Loki has killed a robot, not the real one, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually the real Coulson coming out of retirement sort of thing.
Are you saying that's never going to happen?
I don't think that's the case anymore.
Well, just so we cover all bases, we think it might be a robot, we think it might be magic.
It's a magical
robot. Maybe a twin.
Based off a...
I was a big fan of The Prestige. So that's Coulson. I think Clark Gregg is serviceable, and I really like him. I always enjoy seeing him on the... on screen, be it on the cinema or on TV.
Choke? Are you a big Choke fan?
No. Should I be?
Sammy Rockwell in it. He directed it.
So that's a connection.
Yeah. So maybe Justin Hammer will turn up because there's that connection.
I'd be up for that. And it's we did want to talk about the people who are going to eventually go from the movies and be maybe absorbed into TV or maybe make some guest appearances.
Well, let's go through the rest of the team.
Who should we...
Let's talk about Ming-Na Wen.
Chun-Li from Street Fighter.
From Van Damme's Street Fighter,
Yeah. So,
do we know her name?
It's Melinda. It's the cavalry. It's Melinda May. Come on.
We IMDb'd them beforehand.
Well, I didn't because I actually can recognize, I think you know I'm going with that. Anyway, no. Well, what do we think of her? Well, it's, I guess she's got a lot of mystery to her as well. I mean, she's got some sort of, traumatic experience which made her take a desk job of some sort, which I'm sure eventually they will reveal to us, and
shorthand version is she's Zoe from Firefly. That's got her covered.
Yeah. Okay, well, if we're talking about the Firefly connection, because this is something that you were telling me about before, that there's the likable roguish leader leading a ragtag bunch of a crew aboard a ship. I don't think... Do you think there's going to be a huge crossover in terms of the Firefly fans and the Avengers?
No. I think sometimes writers can get comfortable writing in archetypes, and you can see it when Joss Whedon wrote in Astonishing X-Men. You could see that Wolverine was clearly Spike and Kitty was clearly Buffy, and so on and so forth. I think it's a trap that writers fall into, but I think Jed, and his wife are talented enough that they'll break away from that.
I think there's not really much that we can say about her so far. I mean, she seems to be very capable, and I guess the last episode,
she's open to things, which
she's
is good. I
yeah.
like that.
Well, what do we think about Ward then? Agent Ward, Secret Agent Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we can
Look,
say,
I think
isn't it?
this episode 8, is it? Episode 8?
Episode 8, yeah.
I think that's the most we've seen Ward be able to do. Otherwise, he just sort of looks very stoic and heroic.
There's no more of a reveal in this episode, right?
Yeah.
So
He
Do
got
we
a bit
care,
more to...
though? I mean,
Do you? I don't know.
I don't know. It's he
I
is
feel
pretty
for him.
bland so far, and I guess they've given him a little bit more substance.
Yeah.
Speaking of substance or lack thereof, I initially didn't really care for Fitz and Simmons. In fact, the first few episodes, I felt that there were two half characters, and those characters were based on the fact that they're playing on words. Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
at least
like a
now,
one-note joke or something.
Exactly. And-
Fitz and Simmons are sort of Topher from Dollhouse. That's sort of the
Is
shorthand
that the
version
connection?
of them.
Okay.
I want Fitz to be the first one to die in the team.
Well,
I
if
do
we're
not
going to
like
talk,
Fitz whatsoever. Simmons I got no problem with. She's sort of like a young Mrs. Affleck. But
well,
Fitz got to go. Get him out of there.
I actually quite like the English Anne Hathaway as well. But if we are making the Serenity and the connection between Firefly
the
and
verse,
then
shorthand.
then I guess maybe Fitz is gonna, at some stage, is he not comparable to one?
Everywhere you go in those Whedonverse series, there's always going to be flips on the expected. So the person that you think you trust the most will betray the team, and the person that you think you can't trust will be the most reliable, and so on and so forth. But if someone dies, I just want it to be Fitz.
Well,
Who's
someone
that
who
leave us with?
I guess someone who we don't want to die is
The beautiful Sky.
Yes.
Chloe Bennet.
And that's what I
Yes.
was saying
Wow.
before. She's too hot to be a hacker. She's too hot to be a hacker.
Look, it's television.
I know.
So I want to see pretty people. I could just walk down the street if I wanted to see ugly people.
Yeah.
So when I'm tuning in for 40 minutes of my day,
I will say something about. I will say something about Sky, the actress.
Chloe Bennet.
Yes. Now,
If she's watching, hi.
hi, Chloe Bennet. I'm a big fan. But anyway,
We both are.
I found out a very interesting fact that she's half Chinese. Did
Oh,
you know
really?
that,
No, I
Jared?
did not know that.
Chloe
No.
Bennet
She's got
is half
features.
Chinese.
She's got features.
Now she's half Chinese, and we got Chun-Li from Street Fighter. I just get the feeling that we are trying to pander to the Chinese market, which isn't a bad thing. But
it's a big market, though,
yeah.
isn't it? It's like the second biggest market for Hollywood.
And
So-
interestingly enough, I'm half Chinese as well. So if Chloe Bennet is
So
watching,
you think there's a common ground there?
there is common ground.
I got some competition.
Yes. Well, it does seem to me that we are moving away from Sky being
Right.
the lead, because initially she is our point of view character, isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's sort of the Buffy, the Kitty Pryde, and yeah, we're sort of the audience is seeing S.H.I.E.L.D. through her eyes.
But it looks as though we are, getting more into the. Well, now that it's been greenlit for however many episodes.
22
Yeah,
for this season.
22.
Victoria Hands just made her debut in episode 7, I think it was.
Now, do you think there's going to be any more other? Because I don't think I'm spoiling anything, but we do know that we saw Agent Fury.
Yes,
Is he
we
an
did.
agent? Oh, we saw
episode
Fury.
2, or 1, technically.
Now, do you think anyone else is going to make an appearance? I mean,
I think out of what the stable of actors they have, they can only really afford maybe Jeremy Renner, because he's already destroyed the Bourne franchise, so he might
so
as
why
well.
not destroy this
They
one?
might as well just move him from movies and put him back into TV where he belongs.
Kat Dennings is a TV actress.
I don't think we need to see her, do we?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I see
we
plenty
don't.
of
We
her.
don't.
Well, we better wrap this up soon. So, Jared, favorite character in the series so far? I think I already know the answer to this
Is
one, but
Sky is far above Sky, but I think we need to see more Lola.
I
I think
I-
the advertising insinuated Lola was going to be a main feature, and she's basically done nothing since the pilot.
Well, it's hard to argue against Sky as well, so I'm going to say she's my favorite character so far. Yeah, so I guess look, there's plenty more we can say about the characters, but I think we're just going to need to keep watching and see where Joss Whedon and the gang takes us, don't you think?
See where it develops. Yep, absolutely.
Terrific. Tremendous. Well, thank you again for your time, Jared. And
My pleasure.
yeah, we'll see where the show takes us. So can I get my books to go as well?
Of course you can. Yeah, of course.